Being one to lump movie reviews in. Yeah. Welcome to the channel, guys. How are we doing today? Um, Today's review will be over a movie called Pearl. It's it was done in 2022, and I'll probably share the trailer with you. I'm gonna start doing that with the movies I watch. Um, anyway, so Pearl is basically a prequel to another movie, and I did watch it too. Though I'm reviewing it next, but I don't. I like watching the. I like watching the prequels before the actual movie. That way, the movie makes more sense. I don't like how they go back and tell you the prequel story after the movie's already been done. Anyway, Pearl grew up on a farm. She was a married woman, but her her husband went off to war, and when he came back, he didn't come back. So her husband went off to war, and she was stuck with her ailing father, who was catatonic in a. Let's say catatonic. He had some facial movements or facial expressions and stuff, but never really said anything. And you'd see him like eat and swallow and stuff like that. But he didn't. He couldn't move for all intents and purposes. He was a vegetable. So she lived with her strict mother and her catatonic father, and throughout the course of the movie, the mom wouldn't let her go out and do anything but take care of her dad. It was weird because Pearl would go in and she would take baths, and she would have her dad sitting in the bathroom with her while she stripped down and like got in the tub and stuff like that. And it was odd in that aspect, but it was set back in like 1917 or 1912, something like that. Um, so it was really, I guess, went with the times or something like that. She didn't want to use all the hot water, waste the hot water or whatever. So I guess they shared a tub. Um, anyway, so she starts. There's a point where she meets a guy who's a projectionist at the movie theater in town. She wants to be a dancer. So she goes and watches the movie about dancers, and they're like silent movies back in the day. And she meets a projectionist, which I'm pretty sure uh, is David Cornsweet, the new Superman. Yeah. Anyway, so he plays the new Superman, but he's in this movie too. He plays the projectionist, and she ends up getting fancying him. Man, she sleeps with him later on, and she regrets it later, and then she spills her guts to her best friend after she kills her mom and her dad. Best friend that just happens to be uh her best friend that just happens to be her sister-in-law. And anyway, so she tells her best friend everything that she did, and the best friend, so she's not gonna say anything, and she takes off running. And Pearl kills her with an axe. She kills the projectionist with a pitchfork, and pushes him into the lake. There's an alligator in the lake that she feeds like chickens and stuff too, and she even grinds on a scarecrow at some point in the movie too, and it's obvious, it's awfully weird. And she finally snaps when her mom basically tells her she can't go to this dance audition thing, and then she gets up there and she ends up not being able to make it when she doesn't make the cut, and she gets mad. Right after that, she kills her best friend and chops her up and feeds her to the alligator. But it's the villain origin story of the bad guy in a movie called X. And I mean, the movies are pretty good. They're so far. Pearl was weird, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't scary, but it wasn't bad. And X was not as gory as I thought it would be. There's a lot more nudity in X than there was in Pearl, if any at all. None was in Pearl, really, because it wasn't needed. But the premise for X, it was needed. Anyway, sometimes what I'm saying is sometimes sexual scenes and nudity are needed in movies just like they're needed in books, but, we'll get to that later. So anyway, all in all, it was a pretty decent movie. And you should go watch it. It's called Pearl, An Extraordinary Tale. I think it's An Extraordinary Tale. No, it says here it's just Pearl. It's an hour and 42 minutes. It's a horror drama. And it was done in 2022. And it was rated R. So, anyway, it was a good movie. Just check it out. If you're in for something weird and, if you're feeling something weird and unnatural. Love you all. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming to my channel, and I appreciate you. And I'll see you soon. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and hit the bell if you want to be notified. And if you comment, please leave suggestions for whatever movie you think I should watch next.